This time I'd like to call this meeting of the Allendale County Council to order. This time I'd ask Vice Chairman Bill Robinson to lead us in our invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, we beseech Thee as we gather this evening, asking for Thy continued guidance with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as we partake in the governance of our beloved county. These and all blessings we ask in Thy holy and most merciful name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Declaration of quorum. We do have everybody present here. So we do have a quorum.
Mr. Chair, I think we're going to have public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've already got off the agenda to start with. We're going to open up our public hearing at this time.
Okay, sir.
Anybody have any comments for the public hearing on the ordinance?
I gave Judy a slip.
Okay, this is for public comments. You can come on up, Ms. Tony.
Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak this evening. I wanted to express my concerns about moving forward with this budget. There are no number one, there are no figures showing the expenses by department that were spent last year. In other words, council has nothing to compare the current figures with what was spent in the last year to know the current amounts that are needed. When I asked why this was not done as it had been done in all past years, I was told that it was impossible because of how everything was entered into the computer. Just for the record, it could have been done by pulling reports from QS1 and QuickBooks, merging those reports, then if needed, pulling purchase orders and canceled checks. This would have required additional work, but would have given the council the information that was needed to make a proper decision on these expenses. Number two, the administration office has an astronomical cost. It has increased a couple of $100,000. In a county of less than 200 employees, this is unacceptable. Not only is the administrative office top-heavy in cost, but each department has its own manager/director. There's no need to have so much cost involved when managing so few employees. Why do we need so many managers? If the departments are managed properly, there is very little need for oversight from the administrative office. Number three, council previously, at a previous meeting, voted to move all financial responsibilities back to the treasurer's office. To date, that has not been done, meaning writing of the checks. As a result of having bills paid out of the admin office, E911, as we all know, was out of service for several hours due to non-payment of a bill. That is one of the reasons for moving everything back to the treasurer. The checks should be issued from her office, not the admin office. Although E911 was rolled over to Hampton, this was still a serious event. It takes time to roll the call over and for them to contact our emergency services. This extra time could have had a very bad outcome. Obviously, the prioritizing of which bills to pay was not thought through in this case. Moving everything back to the treasurer's office should be done immediately. There is no good reason to wait. Number four, our financial situation is tenuous at best. We're trying to get a $1.5 million loan to make it to the end of this year until tax money starts coming in. I don't know the current status of that, but suffice it to say, I know we've been having trouble finding a loan. If what has been said at the budget meetings is accurate, we will need approximately another $1.2 million loan to finish out the fiscal year with this budget. We are supposed to receive $2.5 million in fee and lieu payments from West Fraser, and that's a $500,000 short of what we will be borrowing. That's the 1.5 and the 1.2. That money will be gone, and we will be trying to make it on tax money. Since we haven't been able to do that in the past, how will that work? Number five, since the $2.5 million has not been put in the budget as fees in lieu have been in the past, as well as other supplemental income, County Council is obligated to hold public hearings on any money that comes in that was not included in this budget. And that's per sections 4-9120, 4-9130, and 4-9140 of the South Carolina Code.
All right, Ms. Tony, it's 3 minutes.
You never stopped anybody else, Matthew?
Tonight we are. I'll let you wrap up, though.
Do what?
I'll let you wrap up.
Okay, so we'll need to hold money hold hearings on those monies that are not included in the budget. I also would like to say that Barnwell raised their taxes 12.28 mils, and I don't like to see taxes raised, but I don't see how we can borrow our way out of this situation. And I say we need to increase the taxes, unfortunately, and when the money rolls in from the new plant, as we're hoping, they can always be rolled back. And we just can't expect any more CARES, COVID, American Rescue money, and all the money we've had coming in over the last year or two to bail us out. And I really hope that we can find a way out of this fiscal mess. I'm very proud of my county, and I want to see our financial reputation restored.
Thank you, Ms. Major. Anybody else have any comments for the public hearing? Okay.
My name is Cindy Deere, and I'm the Executive Director of Keep Allendale County Beautiful. We are an affiliate of Keep...
Ms. Cindy, is this for the public hearing on the ordinance?
Oh, no.
Okay, we'll call you in just a second. Sorry. No, you're good. Anybody else for the public hearing for the ordinance? I'm ready to get through too, so. All right. Anybody else for the public hearing on the ordinance? All right, this time we'll close the public hearing. And then we will call order our regular call meeting. We've already given the invocation by Mr. Robinson. We have declared a quorum. At this time I'd like to have an approval of the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
The agenda's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This time we get approval of the minutes from 8/17, 8/24, 9/19, and 9/21. Can I get a motion to accept those minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the minutes of August 24th, September 19th, and September 21st.
Have a second?
I second.
8/17 also?
And 8, I'm sorry,
Yep.
August 17th.
Okay. Got a motion and a second to accept all 4 minutes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This time I'd like to welcome everybody out. It's good to see a good crowd. We got a lot of public comments, and as I told Ms. Major, we are going to keep it to 3 minutes. So if we drop the gavel on you, don't take it personally. We just got to stick to our 3-minute rule. First up, Ms. Sharon Summers, Fire Department Community Risk Reduction Event.
Good evening. Hopefully I won't take 3 minutes at all. I'm here tonight. Rachel Lawson is also with me. I think she's outside and making her way in. Wanted to give each one of you one of these flyers that we have put together. We have started in the last 2 or 3 years doing a community risk reduction open house at the fire department. This helps us get information out to the public about what we do, what we can do to prevent fires and other such things. Now, again, this is new for us. We wanted to come here tonight to personally invite you as the council and the public to come out to this event. We will have a lot of information there from different organizations. We're going to have law enforcement, fire, EMS. Of course, fire is going to be there. Beautification's already said they're going to be there. DSS, the hospital, rural health normally brings the table and sets up and gives out information. We want to have the smokehouse here this year. That's for the children and some of the older children, the adult ones, to go through and see what smoke does inside of a structure, see how it's set up, see how hard it is to see when you're inside something like that. We also want to do a fire extinguisher demonstration, maybe more than once throughout the time that we're there. We will have hot dogs and drinks and such to go with it. I have more flyers on the table. I have also left some of my business cards with Miss Judy. If anybody is interested in setting up a table, giving out information to the public, please contact me. We have plenty of space available. Again, I would like anybody that wants to take a flyer. I left some on the table out here. Put it up in your local business. Put it up in your church. This is going to be open to the whole community. The more people we can get involved in this, the faster our message will spread. Hopefully the less fires we'll have, the less serious injuries and consequences we'll have if a fire does occur. So that's the end of our invite. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have one, Sharon. You think you can set up where you could refill extinguishers?
I don't know the cost involved in that. We are not set up to do that at this time, even for the county itself. If we use our extinguishers, we have a company come in and fill them. Again, we've never explored that cost.
Could you check that? and
I
see if
can.
that's-
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Excuse me?
When is it?
It is November 4th. That's the first Saturday in November from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We do know that goes over with the beautification department's trash pickup that morning, but we're normally a little slow getting started, so please come after you participate in that. We will go as long as we have people there, to a degree, but we're not going to turn people away. We want to get information out to the public. So November 4th from 11 to 2 p.m., and it's going to be right back here at the fire station.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Cindy Deere, keep Allendale County beautiful.
All right, let's start again. I'm Cindy Deere. I'm the Executive Director of Keep Allendale County Beautiful. I've lived in Allendale County for 42 years, and I'm retired now. Each one of you received a litter index survey for your district. What that is we go around and every year we ride around the county and we look at those particular spots and we measure how much litter is in that 1 mile stretch. 1 is very good, 3 is the worst rating. I don't have figures from last year, but the figures from this year overall, the overall figure this year was 1.99. 2 years ago, it was 2.18. So we are improving. And we just wanted to let everybody know what's going on in your district. Also, we wanted to let you know we have bought 20 trail cameras to put up at dumping locations. Dumping locations can be trash, construction site debris, tires that have been dumped, furniture, animal carcasses, anything like that. We are trying to find out who's doing this, and we're trying to prosecute them. And hopefully this is something that's going to get on board with the law enforcement. We have a law enforcement officer now, litter control officer, Officer Teether, and he is working very hard with us on this. And he will be putting out the cameras. So if you see a dumping area in your district, please get in touch with us. My information is on the fall cleanup handout, and you can get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with Miss Ann Rice. We are working on 2 grants right now for our affiliate. The first one is Keep South Carolina Beautiful Support Grant. It's a $10,000 grant, and this will help us next year with our funding on things that we do. Also, the law enforcement side has got a litter enforcement grant that they're applying for, which is $6,500, and they're hoping to get a drone. And we can use a drone to, if somebody's dumping, put their drone up. It'll be one that can do things at night and all that stuff. I gave each one of you a handout for our flyer for our fall cleanup that's coming up, and I challenge each one of you to get a group together. You can come by Kear's Law Firm, pick up your supplies, and all supplies are free. We have bags, gloves, vests, pickup sticks, anything you would need to pick up trash, we have it for you. And this handout also tells you other places where you can pick up supplies, plus put what you gather, the dumpster of the location dumpsters.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Miss Amy Scott, Animal Shelter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Amy Scott, and I'm a volunteer at the Allendale County Animal Shelter. Currently, we have only 2 part-time employees, and this is for a facility that is operational 365 days a year. Holidays, Christmas, whatever. It has to be open all the time for some period of time. I'm one of 3 female volunteers that are either pushing 70 or over 70. and the work is strenuous. Needless to say, it's not a pretty job, and we are burned out. We have, just this afternoon, we've kind of figured up how many hours volunteers put in on average a week, and it's 25 to 30 hours a week. And that's a full-time job. That's a full-time person job. I know all of you are not dog lovers, but the county does own the shelter, and it's the responsibility of the county to staff it as such and not depend on volunteers to be the workforce. This has been the case for years now. I've been out there 3 years, and that's the way it's been at least that long, and I know it's longer. And I don't, you might say, well, nobody's making you volunteer. But we do it. I don't know if you remember, some of you may not remember, the shelter got a lot of bad publicity about 4 years ago. It was in deplorable conditions. We have come so far with this shelter, and we volunteer to keep it up and move forward and not let it get back to the way it was. It was an embarrassment to the county, and it just does not need to happen again. In addition to desperately needing help, we do have some capital improvements that I'd like to just list very quickly. We do not have any fencing around the perimeter. It's wide open. If a dog gets out, you've got old ladies chasing after them, and you know, it's not only a nightmare, it's dangerous. We would like to have a walking trail, since we are not allowed to walk around the law enforcement center, and understandably so. We really didn't have anywhere to go but behind the shelter. And we had a volunteer to come out and cut a path through the woods, but it needs to be cleared, and some of the debris and limbs just kind of tweaked up a little bit. I know Ms. Jennings has talked about a trail for the senior citizens, and I don't know that you would want it to be the same trail. It could be, perhaps, since it's in close proximity. But if you're out doing one, it'd be nice to do both of them and maybe incorporate a part of it, if not all of it. We do need another area for a play yard. We need another area to be cleared, and I think we have that either to the side of the shelter or behind the shelter. We need kennel repairs. We have rusty, used hand-me-down kennels for some of the parts, and they have wires that are sticking out and cut the dogs. I know this last thing has been addressed by other people in the community, but the grass does not get as cut as often as needed. We have a lot of tight spaces, a lot of buildings that you just can't get a riding lawnmower in, and so it leads us to the little old ladies out there with a weed whacker again, trying to tidy it up. Occasionally it's done, but not usually.
That's 3 minutes. Ms.
Okay,
Ask you to
I
wrap
want to
up-
thank you for
wrap
the...
up real quick. Yeah, you go ahead and wrap
Yeah,
up.
I want to thank you, because I know last year's members helped us get a new facility, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a plus for the county, and at no expense to the county. We had power washed it, painted it, and got it looking good.
Okay, we'll keep that in
Thank
our
you.
minds, and we'll move forward. We'll definitely talk about some of these issues. Thank you. Mr. James Pinckney, Parks.
Chairman, and to the councilmen and to the citizens of Allendale County, good evening. Good evening, sir. I have 3 points, and I'm going to sit down, and then hope neither point will take over a minute. Point number 1, I want to thank Public Works for coming out this morning and installing the new sign at the park here in Martin. They did a very beautiful job. Mr. Alder, who is the coordinator, was taking the lead. We want to thank them very much. The second thing that I have on here is not the park. This is for really, I am your representative at Denmark Technical College. I'm an area commissioner. And the information that is sent to State Tech that Allendale County do nothing for Denmark Tech. But I know that's not correct. Now, I've talked to the president today, and he said he still uses this building in Allendale. If that's the case, that's the in-kind type funding. So what I need you guys to do, and girls, is to do a commercial dollar value, how much that building would cost per square foot, water and power. Make that number what it is, give that number to me or give it to the president and say that's what you give them up Tech. Right now, the paperwork showing Columbia, you do 0. Okay? If you all can do that for me, that's all I need. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Valerie Smith, funding.
Good evening, council.
Yes.
Standing before you as the treasurer, wanted to just share some information. As you know, we are in some tight times at this time, and I was elected to be the keepers of the funds. And to my best ability, I'm trying to keep your funds, and I'm trying to allocate them all according to what is right and the documentations that we have. So don't look at me when I come back and say that I'm being hard or whatever, but I just wanted to be accountable of any funds that leave my office or any funds that come into my office. I want to be accountable of it. That if you call me, I can stand on it and have and state why I did what I did and got documentation to back it. Also wanted to share that I try to appropriate out funds as soon as I can, as they come in, because I know our needs, and I look and I try to get them into the right places as soon as possible. And I'm covering it pretty good, but I can only use what comes in to make it happen. Also, as you know, I do not do accounts payable. So when people call and say bills didn't get paid, sometimes I get the call. I do not do accounts payable. Only thing I do is if accounts payable call me, I will let them know whether funding is there or not. That's my job. If there's no funding there, then there's no funding. If funding is there, then it is. And I will do the transfer according to the request that has been made. This is also something that me and Chanel, Ms. Lewis, has set up. She wanted it in this particular way, so that she can, we could be better tracking of what we are doing. So that is the avenue that I take. I don't tell nobody no, because I have no authority. I only have 2 employees. I have no other employees that I oversee to tell yes or no to. Only thing I can do is tell you whether funding is there or not. And I just wanted to put that on the record so everyone would know that. I'm here to help the county. I love my county, and we're going to do great. I just see great things coming. And if we just hold on and weather the storm, blessings are on its way.
Okay. Ms. Valerie, Ms. Smith, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Got a quick question. I think it was mentioned in earlier about transferring payable to your office where you do everything. Because, 15, 16 years ago, that's the way it was. So you have oversee all that. And I think we voted to make that happen. Are you set up to do that?
Not at the second, but we will be. Let me talk with Chanel about that. Can we discuss that? Me and Chanel talk about it. Because I have some questions about some stuff. If that were to happen, I just got some questions that I need clear up before I want to say I'll take over a responsibility. And then not knowing what I'm inheriting.
But I think it's a common practice with other counties where the treasurers generally do all the money transactions.
Right.
So
Okay.
I think it's something that streamline what we're doing now. And since our system at the admin side is not talking to your system, which I think that's going to be corrected at some point,
And see, that's something we have to really set up, because on the admin side, when we went and shut down QS1, and now to get it back up running again, that's what we need to work on to get the Springbrook system going. And that's why I've said we need to get some stuff in place before even that transaction needs to take place, because right now we're only using QuickBook for as that. And if we wanted to merge it to make it happen, we need to get in the Springbrook system. And I think that would eliminate a lot of stuff from going on.
And what's the timeline on that?
I have no idea right now. I think Chanel sent up some paperwork asking them for some dates and time we can actually go to the next step. Not sure whether we got a response back yet or not, but she did submit a paperwork to them. Not sure whether they responded back yet or not.
All right, thank you, Ms. Valerie. Or Ms. Smith, I'm sorry. Richard Brown, tax. Is it Richard? Richard Brown? Brooker, I'm sorry. Come on up.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
I'm here because about 2012, I think it was, and don't hold me to that date, but I believe it was 2012. It was a house that I purchased here, 520 Sam Street. And when I first gave the bid on the house from Hannah Real Estate, I bid $12,000. They said they wasn't going to sell it for $12,000. And I made a second bid with Hannah Real Estate, and I told them that I would give them $15,000 for the house and the lot that it sits on. And then they had an additional $4,600 for land. And I said, I'll split the difference between the 15 and the 20 for the additional land. And they agreed because they sent me a bill back for $17,500. I paid it off, and today I don't own the land. I don't know where it is, and I'm trying to find it.
What you mean you don't own it?
Huh?
You can't find it?
I can't find it because I also bought another 2 acres from Fitz, and I paid him $2,500 for that. And
Paid who?
Huh?
Paid who?
Paid Hannah Real Estate. Paid through Hannah Real Estate. But Hannah passed away. And I've been able to find Fitz Lane, but Fitz Lane is joined to my lane. But it should be, and then I heard something about my wife said she had some deeds for Ramsey. I don't know about Ramsey. I bought from Boyd Braxton, H. Braxton. And I also bought from Fitz. And I bought this lot that this house was sitting on, and also plus the house. And that should have been around 4 acres and better around there. I got at least 2 acres maybe at the most. I don't know where the rest of it is.
Well, I don't see this being a council problem. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but who did your closing? I think you should go to your lawyer that did the closing.
Well, I bet Mrs. Sanders is the one that did.
I'll address it. Mr. Brooker was here 10 years ago, and he was told at that time because he had been to the assessor's office, what he needs to do is get a surveyor out there. And he hadn't done that. And my officers told him over and over again, that's what he's got to do.
Okay.
But couldn't you take what other people have already on record at that time and give me what they had?
That's above our pay grade.
Huh?
That's above our pay grade. That'd be between you and the lawyer that did your closing. In the
I do not represent Mr. Brooker. We've been over this 10 years ago. And I told him what to do, and he won't listen. He keeps coming back, asking me the same question. We say, you've got to get a surveyor. And that's what the county told him when he went to the assessor's office, when he was trying to determine where the lines were on his property.
So the land has not disappeared. It's still there.
just hadn't been surveyed out.
Right.
Okay, if that be the case, I'll hire a surveyor to come in
Okay.
and try to locate, because I don't even know where Fifth Lane, I know where Fifth Lane started at the road on my right hand, left hand side corner of my door. That road where Fifth Lane starts, then go towards Bluff Road. That's what he told me.
All right, Mr. Brooke, I'm gonna have to get you to wrap up. We passed 3 minutes,
Well,
sir.
that's good. I
right.
appreciate y'all
Thank you.
listening and hearing my situation.
Well, good luck with your problems.
Thank you.
All right, this time we don't have any visitors, so we move on to council reports. We've got a lot of new business, I'm gonna be very brief. One thing I wanna report on is, Mr. Tran, the CEO and president of Tin Tan, the Vietnamese tire company. Him and his team will be in Allendale County next week. They'll be meeting with SCA, they'll be meeting with the governor's office, and also be meeting with the council prior to Southern Carolina Alliance's quarterly business meeting on Thursday at USC Salt. So I hope all council will be able to make it. And I think they're going to visit the industrial site on Thursday morning and speak with us on Thursday night. So their financing is in place, so we expect to start seeing some activity out on the site fairly soon. They kind of got a little slow start, but hope things will pick up. So for the sake of time, I'm going to leave it at that. Mr. Robinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one item, I'd like to just pass on to council. We just attended the Association of County Fall Advocacy meeting, and we heard from Frank Rainwater, who's over the SE Revenue and Physical Affairs Office. And it looks like we may have missed out on some monies. Last year this time, the state had a surplus of over $1 billion. We didn't ask for anything, we didn't get anything. And I'm quite sure Ms. Scott, who sent this council some info and some go-dos, and we kind of neglected to do that. The projection right now is about $62 million of surplus of new monies. I would suggest that we get with our legislative delegation, make a list of what we need, and move forward. There's a lot of needs that the county has, but if we don't ask, we don't get. And we also had a presentation from 2 counties, Dorchester and also Abbeville, and they emphasized their relationship with their legislative delegation and how that relationship has allowed them to be in the loop for additional funding. Very important. I was talking with Calhoun folks a couple weeks ago, and they were able to secure $500,000 for the county-owned golf course for the irrigation system. That money won't be there this year, so. And I said at the council, we need to get a list and ask for things that we've talked about over the years in terms of facilities or water improvement, etc. And I throw that out. We made a list several years ago, passed it on to council. Never happened. And consequently, the money is not there now, but there is new money, but it's not anything that we saw 2 years ago. So, and I will be prepared another list of things that we need in this county, from animal shelter type things to infrastructure, etc. And hope we take action on that. And lastly, we met with a representative from Congressman Clyburn's office early in the week, and along with SCA, talking about the new industry coming and their needs. So we feel very strongly that between the state, Department of Commerce, and new monies that will come down from Clyburn's office to at least prepare for the new industry. 10 years ago, we identified that northern part of 321 headed out past Georgia Pacific as the growth area for industrial. And of course, 10 years ago, nobody paid attention to, putting up a new water tank in that area. So hopefully, we will make some progress. And if you look at the industrial sites, and we're blessed in this county to have some really good industrial sites, a lot better than most of our surrounding counties, because we have access to rail. And rail is very, very important when you start looking at bringing in heavy manufacturing like the Ting Tang group. So I hope this council will take heed and let's move forward.
I agree.
Thank you.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes, mine will be very short. I just want to remind council what committees that I serve on, and along with Ms. Jennings. And Ms. Jennings is the chairperson of the Cultural Arts, Tourism, and Parks and Recreation. She's the chairperson, and I serve on the board with her. And under those categories are Office of Aging, Transportation, Senior and Youth Services, Library, Parks and Recreation. And I'm the chairperson of Public Service. And Ms. Jennings is also attending that meeting with me, on that committee with me. And that consists of the Fire Department, EMS, EMA, Detention Center, E911, Animal Shelter, and the Coroner. And my reason for saying this is because things happen in our community, or, with our employees, and the committee members are not getting information. So I wanted to make sure that it get known that who's on what committee. If not, maybe you might want to send another committee to the department so they know who to contact, to let that person know that's over the chair of that committee, just respect, so that we can handle what needs to be done in this community. And I want I got a report from the EMS. Paramedics hourly, there was 3. Advanced Emergency Medical Technician hour 1. Emergency Medical Technician hourly was 4. Hourly EMS employee works 24/7 shift rotation. Scheduled overtime is 8 hours per week for 3 out of 4 weeks per month. Call volume, this report includes from September 19 through October the 16th, 2023. Transportation destination, Allendale County Hospital, 87. Out of the county transfers was 24. Total of EMS calls was 111. Allendale County EMS has seen an increase in mutual aid requesting since Thorn Ambulance Service has become the primary provider of Bamberg and Barnwell counties. ACEMS has tried to honor those requests without sacrificing our primary responsibility in Allendale County. Suppose the mutual aid calls increase for the point where ACEMS supplements covered for a contract service. In that case, I request the assistance of our interim administrator council to see what avenue are available to recoup costs on behalf of the county. And the internet service, I was informed that was out. The Allendale County Readiness Center was without internet service Friday, October the 13th, 2023 through Monday, October the 16th, 2023. Have access to internet is a vital to the functionality of the Readiness Center. Has a major incident occurred, the Emergency Operations Center could not operate at this full capacity. I'm asking the council, please pay our bills, just letting us know this is the second time this happened, and this is, you're talking about the citizens of Allendale County. We don't want to get ourselves in a predicament that we don't know what's going on, or service are being turned off and for what reason, we don't know anything about it. So I'm asking us, please, 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 for the citizens of Allendale County, that we please make sure our bills are paid on time, so we won't have no accidents. And that's my report, Mr. Chair.
All right, Ms. Judy, would you send a list of all the committees to all department heads? All right, Mr. White.
Right, Mr. Chairman, thank you, and council. Firstly, on Monday, October 16th, we had the first chapter meeting for our comprehensive plan. Mr. Eric Carey of Lower Savannah Council of Governments guided us in that process. I believe we had 2 members from the community to attend. I know Ms. Major was there and another gentleman was there. First chapter dealt with population and pretty much went over the fact that Allendale County has been losing population over the last few years. Obviously, the trend suggests that we will continue to lose population, but we're optimistic that because of the industry that's coming to our county and other initiatives that we're going to put in place, that our population will grow. But this is important. This is an important part of the comprehensive plan. The next meeting will be on December 18th at the Brandt Building. That will deal with economic development. That's one thing I want to bring forth. On Tuesday of this week, I was fortunate enough to attend the South Carolina Committee on Children in Charleston. And these are regional meetings. The Low Country meeting was in Charleston at the Charleston County Council Chambers. Actually, Senator Brad Hutto was one of the panelists at the meeting. And one of the things that was mentioned that I believe it really hits home in our community is the situation of gun violence with regard to young people. I put some flyers out, some information out front. I would like for everybody, if you didn't pick it up, to please pick it up before you go. There are these cards. There's an initiative called Be Smart for Kids, Every Town for Gun Safety. There's a young lady who is a part of that program named Kristen Moldenauer. I spoke to her about some resources that our community can obtain to kind of bring light to the situation of gun violence in our area. Pediatricians were at the Committee on Children, and they were making pleas that this is definitely a public health crisis. It's not a penal issue, it's just not a legal issue, but it's actually a public health crisis, as a lot of people are impacted by gun violence in our community, particularly with our young people. Last thing I wanted to bring forth was and I mentioned this at the last meeting, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA. That's a part of SC Works and Lower Savannah Council of Governments. I think it's important for the county to help to promote that as much as possible. I know that Superintendent is here with us tonight, and I think the county would be best served to engage with the superintendent and school district, our county agencies, churches, other civic organizations, to help get young people prepared for the workforce in any way we can, because like I said, we do have a lot of opportunities coming. There are a lot of resources out there, and we need to make sure that we're taking advantage of all of those resources. So, Mr. Chairman and Council, that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. White. Ms. Jennings?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have several reports tonight to make. I'm going to start out with the St. Mark Fire Station. Mr. Mole and Chief Stanley and myself have looked at some property located at 6606 Bluff Road, and we're presently talking to the homeowner to find out the cost of the land. We're looking at 4 acres of land for a fire station and eventually a park for that community. And of course, we don't have any figures tonight, but we will bring it back to council for approval whenever we get all of the information. The other thing I want to talk about is the roof at the Office of Agent. The insurance company has denied our claim. They will not fix the roof because it was not reported on time. So the roof is in bad shape. Mr. All said that Public Works will do all they can to repair what they're capable of doing, but shingles is not something that they'll be able to do for the roof. So he's gonna come up with some type of plan to be presented to council for council approval to repair the roof, because he says that it needs to be done right away as soon as possible. Also, when I met with Chief Stanley concerning the location of the fire station and park in St. Mark, there were some other things that he brought to my attention, that every 5 years in the county of Allendale, and I would imagine the state of South Carolina, that ISO, that's the Insurance Service Office, come out and do flow testing on our fire hydrants. Now, according to ISO, the town of Allendale has 131 hydrants. The town of Fairfax has 100. The town of Omer has 30, and the county has 22. Now, this is done every 5 years, and the last time a flow testing was done, the only water system that was prepared for or had documentation to show that the fire hydrants had been tested was the county. Allendale had no documentation. Fairfax had no documentation. Omer had some documentation, but because they didn't have all of it, it was not accepted. So right now, according to Chief Stanley, that ISO could be coming any day now. And to their knowledge, nothing has been tested other than the county. He also said that the persons who test our water hydrants do not have to be certified, but they just have to know how to do it. So right now, I don't know if there's any kind of relationship or agreement between the county and the towns as far as fire hydrants are concerned. Because although they're located in the towns, they still fall under the fire department. So right now, Mr. Chair, we don't know what type of relationship there is between, or agreement between the town and the county as far as the fire hydrants are concerned. And so right now, I think at some point it needs to be a discussion between the county and the town to see what can be done. Now, Chief Stanley said that the firefighters, they're prepared to go out and do the flow testing on the fire hydrants. They can do it. But there has to be some type of agreement between the county and the town, because some of the fire hydrants is not in good condition. And they could be, some of them already damaged, and they could be damaged more if the flow testing is done. So that is something in that the county and the town would have to work on together. He also said, because of this new tower company that's coming here in the county, that our fire department do not have the capabilities of fighting a huge, a large-scale fire. We can fight small fires in rural areas. According to the Stanley, we only have 6 tankers. The largest tanker is located in Omer, which he said holds about 5,000 gallons of water. But right now, that was one of the main things that was discussed when the representatives from Congressman Clyburn office came, that we really need to upgrade our fire department. And we need to be prepared when this company comes in case a fire breaks out in the Sycamore area, that we are prepared to fight these fires. Because according to Danny Black, and I'm sure some of you know him, that it would take SRS about 40 minutes to get here to fight a fire. And by the time they get here, the tire company might be already burned down. So this is something that we need to look at, have a discussion about, Mr. Chair, the fire hydrants. Another thing that was discussed by Mr. Stanley was evidently, and I'm not really familiar with all of the information on this, but several years ago, there was a grant written with the USDA to purchase a fire truck. Is that correct? And there was some documentation needed that has been, according to Mrs. Stanley, that they have requested this documentation for the past several years, and I think they requested information from you as well, Ms. Lewis, because right now, if they don't receive this documentation very soon, that we have 3 fire trucks that's broken right now. And the fire truck that this grant was written for, this is the truck that they're using. And they need the truck. But if these documents, I think it's 2 things that they need. And if they don't get it very soon, the fire truck can be repossessed any day now. So they gotta have that information, and they have requested it, and they have not received it. I have the letter from someone from the USDA, Ms. Nikki Toomies, is that her? I have a letter for County Council to see, is requesting this information as soon as possible. If it's possible, also have I have a maintenance report data. This is the information that when the fire hydrants are tested, that's the information that they will be testing for. And I have a copy of that for, the each county council person. Also, I requested at one of our previous meetings that our county, Ms. Lewis, prepare or design something to show the accountability of our employees coming to work, signing in and signing out. And we have not received an update on that yet. And so I would like an update to show what is in place for the employees when they come to work. Do they sign in, or they sign out, or I need to see what is in place. Right now, there's nothing in place. Employees come and go as they please. So we gotta have something in place for that. And although I'm not the chairman of the committee for the library, it was reported to me that, Mr. Chair, the library has not been able to do any business for a year and a half because they have not had a quorum. They're down to 3 board members, and the regional director called and said they need 6 board members as soon as possible because they cannot take care of any business because they do not have a quorum. And lastly, I have been working along with Ms. Taylor, Mr. Robinson, Representative Lonnie Hosey, to get funds for the walking trail and some other things at the Office of Aging. And we met with them several weeks ago, and what we are waiting on now is some quotes for the different projects. Now, there is a possibility, if we get enough money, that they will put a roof on the Office of Aging building. But right now, we don't know that. But they're waiting on some bids. And so I received a call today that on Monday, Brunson
Construction.
is from Hampton.
Yeah.
They will be coming here to give us quotes on everything that's needed for the Office of Aging. And, we'll try to add something in there for what you need to. We'll add something in there. But they're just waiting because they said now if you don't hurry up and give us the quotes, we're going to have to do our own quotes. And so we were waiting, and we've had a call into Brunson now for a couple of weeks, so we received the call today that they will be here Monday to give us the quotes for everything that needed to be done at the Office of Aging. That is it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jennings. I'll ask each council member come back with one nomination for the library board in the next meeting. I'd ask that Ms. Jennings and Ms. Taylor, since y'all serve on that board, to nominate the sixth member.
And Mr. Chair.
I already have one.
Mr. Chair, if I may, Ms. Jennings is the chairperson of that,
I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I have a person for my, Mr. I have
Well, we'll nominate, if you want to, we'll give everybody a chance to come back to the next meeting.
Okay.
And we'll nominate all six then. So you do one person and the board do one, y'all nominate one together for the sixth.
do we now, huh?
Each member nominate one person to serve, and then you and Ms. Taylor, since y'all serve on the library committee, y'all come up with one additional.
Okay.
All right. At this time, interim county administrator report, Ms. Lewis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to give council an update on the plaques for the fire station and for the pictures in the courthouse. That order has been placed. We are now waiting on the vendor. There were decisions that were taking a while to be made, but we just went ahead and made an executive decision. So now it is with the vendor and they've been ordered.
Okay.
As far as the grass cutting situation, I spoke to Mr. All on Tuesday. He said he almost has a schedule complete for the grass cutting schedule countywide, and when that's done, he will provide that to me so that I can provide it to you.
Excuse me, Ms. Lewis, you mentioned the plaques for the EMS?
Yes,
Okay, what about the airport?
yes, so all of it. So we're looking at one for the airport, one for EMS, and then also with the
Sure.
things that go on the picture.
Okay.
The issue was more like a size, and a different
So
price.
we covered all those requests,
They were all done at the same time.
okay?
This
Yes.
is not complete.
Yes.
We were waiting, that's right, it's not complete, but the holdup was more the vendor, getting in contact with the vendor, not because we didn't place any orders in contact.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, the plaques, if I may please, the ribbons donated, and they specifically wanted a certain way, so on the pictures. So please contact Beth Gooden, because she know what she want on it, and that's why I was pushing it. They donated those pictures, so I would like to make sure it's done the way they want it.
We have looked at what we could do for repairs for the water tower. We had two companies come out and get bids for the repair on the inside and the outside. The ladder has to be done, so it's not safe to go up there now. What we'll do is bring those before council to have the information, and if they're requested, we will have companies to come and look at it for what the options are as far as the repairs, how we could possibly pay for it. There is money budgeted for repairs in this current budget that was prepared, that we're about to have the third reading on. For the CD Bing project, Rory Dowling, who's with First and Main, he is the project manager. He asked if council would like him to assist in the RFP process for the architect. Not do it, but he said he could help us by doing the paperwork, getting everything going. Of course, council would select it, but he would like to know if he could assist in expediting the whole RFP process for that. Ultimately, council would make a decision, but he can help with the paperwork and getting that ready if council so chooses to have him assist with that, preparing the RFP process. Allendale County DSS would like to purchase and place entrance signs on their building, at the entrance of their building, because the parking is in the rear of the building. And so that's confusing. They just had an audit, and their agency audit, one of the recommendations was to have entrance sign posted at the entrance. And of course, that's county property, so the county would have to approve and okay that. I just wanted to let you know that I just received a letter shortly ago last week, and this is a request that they would like. I will make sure the council gets a copy of the letter, but I just wanted to make you aware of the request.
Those entrance, go ahead.
Sorry. What are you asking from council? Are you gonna wait for us to give you an answer? I know this is information you're giving us.
Yes, and I will wait for you to give an answer. I'm not going to make a decision out of you make the decision.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know. I became aware of it, so now I'm making you aware. I'm going to give you the letter so that you can decide what you would like to do.
Even with the RFP with the CD Bank project.
Right, that wasn't in the email, and he's asking, and that's why I said, if you so choose, if you decide, he said he could assist, but ultimately that's at your discretion and your decision to do so. There was no written document, I just got an email, and William spoke to him on the phone, but this is information I'm relaying to you as it was relayed to me, but I don't make decisions, council does. And I'm very clear about that, but that's why I'm letting you know what he asked.
What I'm trying to get cleared up is making sure that you bringing it to us, but we're not giving you no yes or no. So
Right,
it's just-
no, this is just in a report. I'm not forcing a decision, I know you would have to vote on
I
it.
didn't know you needed information back, how fast you needed for the CD Bank project, what we need to do to move forward, what you need to get done.
Right, I did not get a time, I will request a time frame.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
I think that's a good point.
They did not give me a time frame to give to you, so I didn't receive one.
Let's talk about the signage entrance to DSS. Is that something our folks down at Public Service could do? Make that signage?
I could find out.
Okay, because we do make street signs, and I don't see why we couldn't do an entrance sign, so we can find that out, please.
Okay, well, it does say that they are willing to purchase and place it there.
And,
So, but I could,
Well, we can always build them like we normally do.
Well, another option for the signs, the prison in Allendale will make the sign if you buy the material at no cost.
DSS is willing to pay for it,
Oh, yes.
so.
Oh, they're gonna pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they still will make the sign, the prison in Allendale.
Well, if we're capable of doing it, I think we should. We just let the county do it, and we do our quarterly billing to DSS, and it could be an easy transition to bill them. Nothing against the prison, but this may be a lot smoother if we're able to do it.
Well, that's information for the future if you need it.
At the fall meeting for the Association of Counties, I was approached by the gentleman who runs the ICMA, International City Manager Association Advanced Leadership Institute. Each year they do a project. This is the second year of their program. He asked if we would be willing, as a county, to allow them to do a project with the participants of the Advanced Leadership Institute to do a study for Allendale County on what we so choose. I said that we have a need for housing all throughout the county, and I'm sure after our meeting on Tuesday, the towns of Fairfax and Allendale, the representatives from that area said if we wanted to do anything with housing, please include them. So if they take this project on as a part of their assignment with the Leadership Institute, it would be no cost to the county, and if council so chooses, they could provide their expertise from the different agencies to see what they can come up with us, because they are required to do a project. I participated in just the regular Leadership Institute last year, which I completed As of 2023, it was 22, 23. So I was asked specifically, could they use Allendale County to do a project? But this is something that came up. I was asked that yesterday, so I'm just giving council information on that. And as I will talk to them, I will contact them and get more information. Once again, this would be at no cost, and this would be experts from all over the states who participate in this Advanced Leadership Institute. They do have to be selected to see what they can come up with us for, as a county, for housing possible opportunities. Now, I initially said yes, and I was excited, but I understand that council must decide. I will provide as much information as possible when I bring it to you for you to vote, and you can decide whether you want to do this, and we can use whatever information they came up with. It's free. It would be free, but as I get the more details, I will provide that to council so that you can decide and have the best, most informed decision.
So it's not limited to housing, right?
No, you can
I know
decide.
SCA had, they're in the process of getting a housing assessment done, and I'm not sure if they are proceeding with that or where it stands, so we need to probably find out if they're doing their housing assessment of the region. You know, there's no use to waste, resources if they're doing them also.
And that's
That
good.
sounds
Any kind of, yeah, that'd be great.
You can specify what you want.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at it, I was saying different types of housing, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be what the county decides that it wants or needs, but they would cater the project to what you want. It doesn't have to be that, and it's not actually an assessment. So it would be a project to look at what kind of opportunities they could have in the county. But you could decide what you want.
All right.
So when I find out more information, I will bring that to you. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I don't hate to bring this up now, but the last vote that the county council had on the CV Bean project was 2.5 years ago, that I recall. And if I remember right, the motion was Carl Gooden specified that it would be an agreement as long as it didn't cost the county any money. And I don't think we have gone back to that, to update that. I don't think we've actually taken an official vote, if the county wants to proceed. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I think we need to get some figures in front of us to see what we're dealing with, what kind of money we're gonna spend in the long run, and then see if we wanna move forward with it. It just seems like yes, we're gonna do it, but there's a lot of unknowns in the project.
And I understand that. And I think Rory, he's been hired to go ahead and do the preliminary work, and he's asking now, about an RFP that he could actually administer it for us, apply for the RFP. We do have the $4.5 million of Savannah Riverside Fund, and that's geared towards the project. Now, if there's any additional money, we have to come back and vote on it. But the initial 4.5 and the interest on that money will certainly pay the fees that he was charging, which is pretty reasonable. We also moving forward with a USD facility grant application, and that will tell us pretty much if we can go out and borrow additional money. Plus there's some investment money, tax credit, that Rory also looking at that could be applied to the overall project. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, and until you really get an architect to come in and say, hey guys, it's going to cost X number of dollars. And then at that point, we have not signed on the dotted line. Everything we're doing right now is pretty preliminary up to a point that we can see exactly what it's gonna cost. So I think we in a safe space here, and until we get the numbers.
Yeah.
Council would have to say at some point, yes, we wanna go with this, or we don't wanna go with it, so.
All right. I don't want to get in the weeds, but is that, Ms. Smith, is that 4.5 million, is that in any type of interest-bearing account?
Not at this present time.
Is that something that you look at?
I didn't, do it at this time because of what we were looking at, putting on the table, asking the bank to do.
Okay.
Ken, that's a good point. I know the state has an account which pays a lot better than banks. And I think we need to move that money as soon as we can, you know.
All right. Attorney's report, Mr. Walter Sanders.
Just briefly, I talked to Mr. Pinckney today, and I'm going to prepare him the hold harmless agreements for any workers that they have at Pinckney Park who are not county employees.
Okay.
So, as he said, in the future, they will have people out there working, and to protect the county, we need to do that. Another thing, we've gotten a Freedom of Information request from Genesis Healthcare, Inc., and Judy and I will get together and respond to that. They're basically asking for any information concerning the county's process in determining whether or not giving them, the resolution of support that y'all voted on.
What's pushing that? It should be a pretty simple thing to do.
Right.
Why? I said, what pushing Genesis on that? Because
I'm not
it's a
sure.
pretty simple
We've got a letter
request.
from Landon Graham, who is Esquire, which means he's an attorney.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking for, anything we've gotten from the Low Country Health or from the hospital in regards to their proposal.
Okay. Anything else? That's it? All right, moving on to old business. Third and final reading of the ordinance enacting Allendale County budget for FY 2023-2024. This time I entertain a motion. Or
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
all right, got a motion and a second to accept the third and final reading of the ordinance enacting Allendale County budget for FY 2023-24. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Third and final reading of an ordinance to adopt a careless operation of a vehicle ordinance.
So moved.
Second?
Motion's been properly moved and second for the third and final reading of an ordinance to adopt a careless operation of a vehicle ordinance. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. New business, discussion for consideration of hiring an airport manager.
Mr. Chairman, could we discuss that in executive session, then come back with action?
Is that discussable in executive session?
I would, since it's a personnel matter.
Okay. Discussion of proposed memorandum of agreement for the detention of juveniles. I think everybody's got a copy of that. Was there any questions on that, Emily? Do you want to give us a brief synopsis of that, Ms. Lewis?
Yes, this is a memorandum saying that we would detain juveniles in this center, subject to its design and operational capacity. And this is at $50 per day. This is still required, this is agreement, it will not obligate us in any way. So this has been a short-term alternative placement in case of a natural disaster. So they wanted to know that we have a mutual agreement to be able to move, house juveniles if that comes up. So that's what this agreement is about. That's the basis.
The houses where,
And the detention center.
are they a juvenile, do we have an area for them? I don't think you can put a juvenile with adult,
No.
if I'm correct. I mean, is that what you're asking?
Right, well, this says an alternative, a short-term alternative placement program. So this is like transporting them from the court.
I mean, we have it, Jimmy.
All right, so let me speak to that. Actually, what this is saying is that we would agree to place them in short-term, they're what are called short-term alternative placements across the state. So it's saying that they would encourage all public safety and law enforcement in our jurisdiction to be aware of this alternative as opposed to secure detention. It's just making sure that all counties are aware of that. It's not for us to house them in our detention center. That's what that is.
Okay, that's why I want to make sure I'm clear.
As a matter of fact, Beaufort Marine Institute is one of our short-term alternative placements. And the reason they're doing that is because of the crowding at the juvenile detention center in Columbia. So,
Gotcha.
Jamie, is there any possibility that we may be asked to house them?
County detention centers would have to be equipped to do that and have the personnel to do that. For example, Charleston County used to house juveniles at their detention centers when when the juveniles committed A through D felonies. But most of the smaller counties are just not equipped to do that. So that's not what's being requested.
So this designation is pretty much just for the record.
Right. It's just to make sure that the county understands and law enforcement agencies understand that there should be an alternative to putting them in those lock and key facilities. That's all that is.
Okay.
Not necessarily with the adults.
Right, right.
You can't put them with adults.
No.
All right, can we get a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second.
You need to recuse yourself.
Oh, because of that, oh, okay.
Because
I'm
you're the
sorry.
board,
Oh, yeah,
you need to-
yeah.
Oh, Lord, get out of
Oh,
here.
yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, you don't have to leave, but just don't.
Just don't vote.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a motion and a second to, accept the MOA for the detention of juveniles. Got a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Shooter, let the record show that Mr. White. Next, proposed Allendale County water rate increase. I think we're all aware of that. That's included in our revenues for our newly adopted budget.
Make a motion, we approve.
Got a motion, have a second? To accept-
Second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the Allendale County water rate increase. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This time discussion of proposed life cycle agreement. That is the e-waste that Ms. Lewis reported on last month. She has that agreement for us. Is there any questions on that agreement?
Would
Has
you like
any-
a update, Clear?
Has anything changed? Because we
Yeah.
asked that you go back and take a second look at that.
Nothing has changed. We're still required to, we're gonna have to pay for whatever waste that's not recyclable, but we must have an agreement with someone to do this. And by doing this, we can get credit for the type of e-waste that is recyclable, and it will save us money by doing this. So nothing has changed. It is the same agreement with the company. Nothing has changed since I brought it to you the first time.
Okay. Now, prior to life cycle, who were we engaged with to do this?
we were just paying, we were paying, and the difference with us paying before is it was just going out with the regular waste. Now, we wouldn't have to, this saves us money because we don't have to pay it by the truckload. So we were gonna be charged by the truckload if we just did it the way that it was before. And this one, it doesn't, it's based on what we have, plus getting the credits for the stuff that's recycled.
Okay.
But
So-
they just require us to have an agreement.
So it's a win-win for us.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm making a motion that we approve.
All right, got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to accept the service agreement with Life Cycle Solutions. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The letter of support for Allendale County Hospital, Mr. Gooden had contacted me earlier in the week. He did not get the information to us in time. He's still working on that, so we'll carry that over till next month. And the agreement that Ms. Jennings alluded to earlier in her report on the hydrants flow testing, I think we've agreed to ask Ms. Lewis if she would, well, I'd entertain a motion that we allow Ms. Lewis to contact the municipalities to see if we can come up with an MOA for the hydrant flow testing.
So move. Is that?
Yeah, I was entertaining a motion.
Okay, so move.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second to allow Ms. Lewis to contact municipalities and develop an MOA on hydrant flow testing. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, consideration of audit firm for FY 23-24. Ms. Lewis, you got only one response from our audit RFP, is that right?
Yes, I sent out a RFP to 8 different firms, and I got 1 rejection letter and no responses from any other firms. So what I wanted to do is ask council if they would consider going forward with the existing firm that we used last year, and then I can also send out an RFP this month to try again for the following year, for the 24 year. This way that we can take care of what we have now, but also try again now to try to have someone engaged for the next fiscal year, a different firm.
Two questions, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you send them to?
I can provide council with a list of the different firms, but I can tell you it was, one was McGregor, Bitter and Bitter, Burkett, but I kept all the cards, and I have a list of all the 8 different firms, and I will make sure that you get a copy somewhere in Augusta. Cherry Becker was one of the firms there in Augusta. I sent it in firms in Columbia, Augusta, throughout the state.
Okay, and then the next question I had, Mr. Chair, if I may, can we can use the same law firm, but can we get another set of eyes out of the law firm? You want to use the same law firm, but is there any way we can get a different person to come in other than who we have now, so that we all have a different set of eyes?
I will ask.
Okay, so.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we do engage with McGregor for the coming year audit.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to engage with McGregor for our FY 23-24 annual audit. Is there any more discussion?
Yes, sir. Does that include what I just asked her to do? Another set of eyes and not just get the same person?
I think we ought to make that a separate motion. First, we ought to get the auditor first, and you asking for additional auditor to the second set of eyes.
No, I'm asking for a different one. I'm asking for a different one.
Yeah.
From the same law firm. So
Same audit firm?
The same, if you can't get another law firm, have another person from that law firm to come in, not the same law, same person.
Well, in other words, stick with McGregor, but ask that someone else from the firm do it.
Mhm.
And if not, we'll fall back to where we were. I mean,
Yeah.
we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're
so
running
need
out of
to-
time.
You know,
Would you amend it to that?
Sure. We amend the motion that we ask that we receive service from McGregor and Company, asking that a new auditor be placed on performing the audit for the county.
And if not,
And if not, we just have to stick with what we have.
okay.
I mean, just, it goes without, we're gonna have to do an audit. And they're the only one that's seem to show any interest in doing it, so we can't go without an auditor. So,
Right.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, is that a motion on the floor?
There is a motion on the floor,
You want to ask questions?
if we get a second.
Okay.
All right, got a motion on the floor, to accept McGregor. Try to find somebody new within the firm. If not, we'll go with our usual auditor.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just have a question. I don't care what firm you get or what lawyer you get, everybody's gonna be looking for the same information. If we get another audit firm, they're gonna be looking for the same information that this firm is doing now. The problem is, we have to have the information, this county, you got to have the information to give to the auditor. And now for my understanding, and I could be wrong, correct me, because I'm just getting on here, that what has happened in the past is that whatever programs you have, the departments here in the courthouse had all of the information that they needed for the auditor. But at the administration office, and he stood right there and stated that the administration office had a serious problem, that they did not have the information that was needed for the audit. So if you hire somebody else, then what if they still don't have it? Or what if the courthouse don't have it? You gotta have the information. It doesn't matter what company you get, what lawyer. You can get another lawyer, but the lawyer that's coming gonna ask for the same information. So, I mean, I don't see, that is my concern.
I mean, that's
Mr. Chair.
All right, we'll call the vote. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. An agreement with Allendale County to permit Coastal Empire Community Health Center to park their RV mobile mental health mobile in the rear parking lot of the Allendale County DSS office a couple times a month for patient appointments.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, an agreement with Allendale County and Angela Young's to teach line dance and exercise and fitness classes at the James Brandt Building each Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. beginning October 19th to promote county recreational activities.
Make a motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in
Yes,
favor?
sir. Yes, I have some concerns about this because I am chairman of Parks and Recreation. I knew nothing about this. It was not taken, this was not presented to our committee. And I don't have a problem with this happening, but it's the process that it was done. I mean, we didn't know anything about this, Ms. Lewis.
Well, what
And I
Ms.
say-
Lewis is,
Yeah.
I was asked,
You know?
But you're not on recreation.
I know, but I was asked,
I think that
And-
should be redone because you're not on recreation and you're not on recreation. We
well,
are.
let me finish. I was asked, and when I spoke with Lori, they've had a relationship with the humans in the past, and my words to her, make sure your committee's aware of it. So,
Well, we weren't. We were
Okay.
not aware of it. Nobody brought it to my attention. I mean, our committee meet and we have a very good committee, you know, that's really interested in recreation. and they're making plans to improve recreation. So if something is happening with the recreation department, it should come through the committee, it should be presented to the committee. And I don't think that, and I don't mean any harm in that, I don't think Ms. Lewis' name should be on here nor yours, because you're not part of the recreation department. We are, and we were overlooked. It was not discussed with us, and I think this should be looked at again.
Well,
And
I
Mr. Chair, and I'm
apologize
gonna
for,
add to that too, Mr. Chair, I just told you that a few minutes ago. Now, we're not, you put us on these chairs, we just want respect. Now, I'm gonna ask that this be tabled until we talk about this in our Park and Recreation, and so that we can come back with a vote to find out what in detail is going on.
All right, we'll table this motion to our next regular meeting.
Thank you.
All right,
I don't even see
forward.
Ms. Lewis's name on here. I mean, how is she at fault?
At this time, we'll get a motion to go into
I didn't say she
executive
was at
session.
fault.
She was pointing fingers at her.
Yeah, I just said her name shouldn't be on here. I didn't say she was.
Making a motion to move into executive session, please.
so move.
Second?
Motion is second, to go into executive session. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. we're out of executive session, we'll call order back into, regular session. Mr. Vice Chairman, you have?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, make a motion that we engage Rory to work on the RFP for the architect.
You got that, Ms. Judy and Chanel? All right, got a motion to engage an RFP with Rory Dowling for the CB project. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And you also need to make note that there were no decisions made concerning the former county administrator.
Okay. There was no decisions made concerning the former county administrator.
So moved.
We're not making that a motion.
No, that's not a motion.
No, just a statement, just a statement.
You don't need to make a motion.
Okay, just a statement. Okay.
You need to put in there, wasn't in there?
Huh?
You need to put in there, wasn't in there?
Well, you can if you want.
I excuse myself from being in there, make sure that didn't be.
Let the records indicate that Ms.
Still wasn't in it.
Taylor was not in executive
Thank
session.
you.
Mr. White?
Yes, I move that Mr. Lonnie Browning be hired as the Allendale County Airport Manager.
Got a motion to hire Lonnie Browning as the airport manager. Have a second.
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A motion?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn.
Thank you.